everyone, it's Narissa, or some of you may know me as Kitty from Kitty's Apothecary, and today I wanted to talk about why I'm striking on Etsy. I put my shop on strike at midnight on Monday morning, and I will not be selling any of my products on Etsy until after April 18th. I'm asking if you are a buyer or a seller on the platform to please consider participating in a strike with me. If you are a seller, you basically will put your shop in vacation mode or deactivate your listings temporarily until the strike is over. If you're a buyer, I ask that you hold off on making your Etsy purchases in the meantime until after the 18th, or you can reach out to the sellers directly to purchase from their website or purchase from them directly. This is a really big issue going on in all the tech world, and so I'm not really surprised that it's trickled over into the handmade and vintage market, but unfortunately here we are. And so yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about. So I have been on Etsy since 2014, and obviously a lot has changed in 8 years, including the CEO and the fact that Etsy went public in 2015. So yeah, where to begin? So I guess it starts with February 24th is when we all got the notification on the seller dashboard on Etsy that they were going to be raising their fees yet again. Prior to that, Etsy hadn't had any fee increases until 2018, once we got our new CEO, Josh Silverman. Basically, Etsy had ousted Chad Dickerson as the CEO for lackluster results. Basically, this is all speculation on my part, but according to the articles that were flying around, with then CEO Chad Dickerson, Etsy spent about $33 million, give or take, on this software, AI-driven software with a company called Blackbird. So it was a $33 million acquisition for the software, and it was all because Etsy search was broken. If you were trying to buy product at that time, you know that the search engine was really struggling. In terms of relevancy, not a lot of things were really coming up in terms of what you were looking for, so you spent a lot of time searching. In the early days, that was kind of a lot of fun, and that was definitely the charm of Etsy, but obviously we know that in the competitive fast market of the internet, having a really high yielding search that gives results for what you're looking for is important. And people don't really have the time to be searching anymore. So that's kind of where the AI came in. Now, unfortunately, there wasn't a lot of disclosure as to what was happening. The only things that we knew as a seller was that the search was changing, our dashboards changed in terms of what algorithms and metrics Etsy was displaying to us about the traffic that was coming into our shops. They did make a couple of improvements here and there. I think their best improvement was basically the fact that they had a coupons and sales feature. So that was really cool at driving traffic and making excitement around our individual Etsy shops. And I was able to generate a lot of sales and traffic by running sales and being able to offer coupons to my customers when they opted into my newsletter. So that was really awesome. But unfortunately, like all good things, change happens. And I'm all for change, and I don't really mind paying a premium if the results are there and it's delivering. The thing is that Etsy hasn't been delivering on the promises that they've made to us. Some of the most recent changes was with the adoption of their new ads program, where sellers who earn over a certain threshold annually were automatically forced into participating in Etsy's offsite ads. And there's no way to get off of the offsite ads program if you've sold X amount of dollars for the year. So basically, if you sold more than $10,000 a year on Etsy, you don't have the option of opting out. Like, this is it. This is what you get. I am one of those shops. I hit that threshold, which hooray for me, but now I'm stuck with Google ads and, Etsy's Facebook ads and stuff that I can't really opt out of. And my problem with that is the fact that I don't want to pay for Google ads to drive traffic to Etsy, because those people may not necessarily buy from me, and Etsy's whole thing about that is you only get charged for the ads if they click. If they actually make that purchase from the click. Now, there's no real information or clarity in terms of like who clicks and how these clicks go for the offsite ads, and Etsy's internal ads are kind of convoluted and messy, and it's also not clear cut about who's clicking and where they're bouncing off of. And just recently they actually just made the changes into the internal ads, so if you see a paid advertisement on Etsy's search, that's different than offsite ads. But in that you can actually change, you can do negative keywords now, because Etsy's AI, their search algorithm is driven by AI, and AI is not very smart, and it would drive up my daily ad spend, because the search would show my product for searches that were not related to skincare or my niche or demographic at all. It wasn't even what they were searching for, but because the algorithm doesn't really know, it would just put together these word salad combinations, and then boom, it would show my stuff. And sometimes people would click. Most of the time they wouldn't buy. And so I'm paying for those clicks. I'm paying for those views, and it's not resulting in sales. So that's money going out the door. But because of all of the ad inflation that's been flying around recently, they've finally given us some control back of the Etsy ads, because I think that they suspected that a lot of sellers were no longer going to be able to afford to pay for these ad clicks. So we would just shut our ads off entirely. Like, I was days away from shutting off my Etsy internal ads, because at least I could opt out of that and I could save some money there. So yeah, they gave us the negative keywords back, so that allowed me to keep running the internal ads. And basically on a daily basis, I've been going into Etsy, aside from the strike, I've been able to go into the ads and turn off any keyword phrases that aren't relevant for my products or for my shop. So that was helpful, but I suspected that the only reason they gave us the control back was because they didn't want to lose out on all that revenue that they charge us for those ads, and the ads aren't that great. And since the pandemic started, since 2020, the ads have increased in cost, but the sales aren't aligning with that. So you're spending more to get less sales, but that's also because there's a lot more sellers on the marketplace, which is cool, because Etsy is a wonderful starting point, and I'm always talking to people about getting started on Etsy if they don't know how to sell online. It's so easy, and that was the charm of Etsy. Etsy sold me this dream that's like, hey, you don't have to have a standard job, but you could still earn an income and be creative, and people will appreciate your work. And for the most part, that's really what Etsy did, and that's what Etsy provided. But over the years, they've been taking more and giving us less. And so for that reason, I'm striking, because I don't find it acceptable for their CEO to get a $9 million retention bonus at the beginning of September 2021, and then here we are in quarter 2 of 2022, and they're raising our fees. And now they're saying that the reason that they're raising our fees by 1.5%, which makes it a 6.5% commission rate, is because they're finally going to give us sellers and the buyers a dedicated customer service, enhanced customer support experience. Now, prior to being on Etsy, I was a customer service associate. That was one of my first corporate jobs. I worked for a call center, and I would take calls, so I know all about customer service, and I take pride in having awesome customer service. Like, my Etsy shop is a 5-star shop. I have a lot of gripes and issues with their new star seller program, but overall, my shop is a 5-star shop. So, but basically, yeah, so their CEO gets a $9 million retention bonus, And yet they're saying that in order to give us this customer service line, which honestly should have been in place years ago. Etsy has been in existence since 2007, and here we are in 2022, years after they've gone public. They've been public for 7 years now. They went public in 2015, and now they're finally starting to talk about a customer service hotline. It should have been in place long ago, and it shouldn't have to come out of our dollars when Etsy is making record profits. And Etsy's profits, of the bulk of their money and earnings, comes from us sellers. And it's not necessarily from the commission fees per se. It's from the offsite ads. It's from the internal ads that Etsy runs. And then also their little package increases in terms of like Etsy Plus, so that you can make your shop prettier. So like you have, enhanced banners and stuff. So all of those little things eat into the overall cost. The fact that our shipping is going up because, the cost of gas is increasing, and the fact that, there is a labor shortage in the workforce. But Etsy doesn't care, and Etsy is going to come for that money so that they can maintain their earnings. And they're coming for the sellers. But we are strapped so thin. Like, during the start of the pandemic, my shop exploded. And I was so grateful for that, because my fiance is a contractor, and all of his projects overnight dried up. He went from having a fully booked spring and almost a fully booked summer to crickets while we were quarantining. And it was my shop that kept us with food on a table, clothes on our back, and a roof over our head during the beginning months. And then came the supply chain issues, and I had to stockpile and hoard and try to make sure that I had enough jars and materials and supplies to fulfill my orders as they were coming in. All of that ate into my profit. It was basically like the money was coming in and it was going out even faster. And I was doing what I was supposed to be doing by raising my rates and product costs and whatnot, and trying to cut back on things that I no longer could afford to keep, And, we've all been forced to pivot. But the thing is that I don't see Etsy's board pivoting at all. I just see them raking in record profits. And I see this happening across all of big tech and the online marketplaces. Amazon ads have increased exponentially, and I've actually had to shut them off because they weren't really yielding results for me as a handmade seller on their handmade division. And so it just wasn't making sense. It's really unfortunate, but I feel like by doing this strike, it's the only way to send a clear message to Etsy that us sellers can't bear the brunt of it all while they give us nothing. Obviously, since we're not Etsy employees, we don't even get a pizza party, We don't get a high five. It's just basically, this is what we're doing, and either you get with it or you get off the program. And I find that really upsetting, because Etsy sold me this dream that I could have the freedom and the flexibility as a disabled person and still have an income. I could go to my doctor's appointments and take the time off that I needed to feel better if I wasn't feeling well, because I'm a cancer survivor and I wear a prosthetic leg as a result of having cancer. And unfortunately, I have more bad days than good days, but I've been able to maintain a popular, well-loved shop on Etsy and off Etsy, while still being able to take care of myself and put my health first, because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And I used to slave away for employers who didn't appreciate me and who went out of their way to discriminate against me as a disabled person who advocated for their rights. And I know my rights, and I would reference the ADA, and being an employee in an at-will state, it was basically like, okay, you know too much and you're too much trouble, so bye, there's the door. And they were within their legal rights to do so. And so at that point, Etsy seemed like a viable option. And I was really grateful to run to Etsy and to have that option available to me as a handmade seller, and to be able to use my skills and my craft and to be appreciated for it and to just have autonomy and freedom to take care of myself and put myself first and not feel bad about it. And now with these fee increases, it's unfortunate, and it seems like it's no longer a sustainable option for my business, and it might be time to move on if Etsy doesn't want to hear us out or at least negotiate with us. But I just want to be clear that Etsy is a handmade marketplace, it's a vintage marketplace, and Etsy and the board would be nothing without us sellers, without our hard work and our dedication and our blood, sweat, and tears, and the fact that we make the holidays special. Everyone knows that's familiar with Etsy that, you know, if you're looking for a unique and special gift, you go to Etsy. That's where all the cool stuff is. I've purchased so many unique items as gifts and for myself, and I'm always so glad to tell everyone, oh, I got it off of Etsy, I got it from this shop on Etsy, you know, like this necklace here, I got off of Etsy. And so there's just so many beautiful people, beautiful products, like you should tell that there's just love there that you don't get from another marketplace. And so it's really unfortunate to see the cash grab that's happening here, even though they're earning record profits. But yeah, that's what's happening, and I'm not sorry that I'm striking, and I'm standing in solidarity with my fellow Etsy sellers, whether you support the movement or not. You know, I don't think it's fair to continue to overburden and stretch the sellers so thin, who are then going to be forced to pass on these costs and increases to the consumer directly. Like, regardless is that once my shop comes back, if I do bring it back from its deactivated status right now, I am going to have to raise my rates on that platform, and that bums me out. You know, I've always taken pride in being reasonably priced while still providing quality products, but, you know, if I want to continue to earn a living and keep food on the table and, you know, to take care of myself, it's unfortunate that I'm forced to do this. So yeah, that's why I'm striking, and thank you so much for listening. And if you want to support me, you can always go to my website, KittyApothecary.com, and I will put the website in the links below. And if you sign up for my VIP newsletter, you get a instant discount code. It's extra 20% off your order. And right now my website has free shipping, so it's win-win all around. So yeah, if you want to support me, you can visit me there. I'm also on Facebook, Kitty Apothecary, so I would love to see you on my site, on Facebook. Connect with me. Let me know how you feel. Are you guys striking? As buyers and sellers, I want to hear from you. I want to hear your story. Like, when did you start your Etsy shop? Why did you start your Etsy shop? Or how did you find Etsy if you're a buyer? And what do you like about it? And how do you feel about all of this? But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate everything that this community has given me. I am eternally grateful, and I just feel really blessed and proud to be able to do my craft and have people that love it. Like, it puts a smile on my face when I get these reviews and everyone's just so appreciative and wonderful. I don't want to cry, but yeah, it feels really good. It's something that I've never gotten from a previous employer. But my customers are my employers. That's how I see it. So yeah, thank you. I love you.